The first 100K is the hardest financial milestone you'll ever hit in your life. Charlie Munger said it best. The first 100K is but you got to do it. I don't care what you have to do. Find a way to get your hands on $100,000. What most people don't realize is that your first 100K doesn't come from investing. It comes from your money and reshaping how you think about money. For most people, it takes 10 years to get to their first 100,000. I did it in 5 while paying off $50,000 in student loans. I didn't live with my parents and my starting salary was $30,000. So today I'm going to share how I did it and give you a plan on how you can do it even faster. First step here is career and salary strategy. The biggest lever you'll ever have in hitting 100K quickly is your primary income. No matter how disciplined you are with your savings, if your salary is not growing, your progress will slow down to a crawl. And think about this. Employees who stay with the same employer typically get a 3 to 4% raise every year. Each year, you gain skills, but your paycheck barely outpaces inflation. Put another way, by staying, you're saving the company thousands of dollars. You're more skilled, need less oversight, complete more work than last year, but you're not being reimbursed for any of it. When I started, I was making $30,000 a year, and after paying all the bills, I had $33 to survive on. So my strategy was to make myself a top candidate in my field. The job I got 2 years later paid me $65,000, and the next job 2 years later paid me $100,000. So the first mindset shift you need to make is that if you want meaningful change, you need to make it happen yourself. You need to stop waiting for a promotion or for your mentor or for opportunities to come to you. You need to create them and go after them yourself. So what I want you to do is focus on these 3 things. Number 1, invest in high demand skills. Figure out the most relevant skills in your field and become the person no company can ignore. When you position yourself as indispensable, your salary will follow. Negotiate a raise or promotion within your current company. If you do it strategically, you can realistically expect a 5 to 10% bump. And the next step is to switch companies every 2 to 3 years. This can often land you a higher title and a 10-15% raise and reset your earning trajectory altogether. Now let's add a side income that actually works. The fastest way to make extra money is by getting another job. In my case, I was bartending 2 to 3 days a week, which brought me anywhere between $500 and $1,000 per week. You can pick a realistic side gig that you can start immediately so that you begin earning from day 1 rather than chasing uncertain opportunities. To hit $100,000 in 3 years, you need to save $2,500 a month or $600 a week. So figure out what your gap is between your primary income and that number and find a job to fill that in. You can go another route and start a business. This can take up more time, but the upside potential is much higher. The thing to remember is that the internet will make you believe that you can become an influencer and make millions overnight. But that type of thinking is no different than eating 1 kale salad and expecting a 6-pack by Friday. So here's my mindset tip for you. When you're moving fast, focus on one goal at a time. If your goal is to hit 100,000 in 3 years and your side gig can't reliably bring in the amount of money you need to reach that goal, just take on an extra job to cover the gap. The next part of the plan is to adopt a fixed lifestyle. Once your income climbs, the urge to upgrade starts to hit really fast. I know it because I felt it too when I went from making $30,000 to $100,000 in less than 4 years. I was driving an older car and wanted to upgrade so badly. But when I ran the numbers, the new car payment, the insurance, and less flexibility, the math just didn't add up. My car still ran perfectly, minus the occasional headlight falling out, so I held off. I stayed in the same 1-bedroom apartment, drove the same car, and paid off my bachelor degree and my MBA in 5 years. A few years later, when I had my first child, that's when I bought the car I truly wanted. It matched my needs and values, and because I'd waited, I felt no guilt. And that's the difference, spending to align with your life versus spending to signal status. If you're chasing upgrades to keep pace with others, you'll never feel settled. The simplest test is this. Ask yourself, would I still want it if no one ever saw me have it? And if the answer is yes, it's likely the right move. Next and last part of the plan is saving and investing. This is where math gets really simple. It's your take-home pay minus your bills, minus modest amount for spending money. Whatever is left goes straight into your 100K fund automatically. As your income rises, this contribution will rise with it because your bills are going to stay fixed. And that's your power move. You're locking in progress while still giving yourself room for experiences. To reach 100,000, the benchmark is about 30,000 a year or 2,500 a month or 600 a week. Most people can't get there at the start, and that's okay. Years in that early journey are about building the system, and later when your income grows, you can close the gap fast and without having to scramble or backtrack. So when you start at zero and hit that 100,000 in 3 years, you realize that it's not magic. It's your discipline, the systems you put in place, and a completely new mindset that you were able to develop along the way. From there, that's where momentum kicks in. The next 100,000 from 100 to 200 takes roughly another 3 years. And once you pass 200,000 in savings and investments, that's when you can really start to see compounding accelerate. At 200,000, your portfolio could already generate about $16,000 per year in passive income. If you continue your same savings and investing habits, you could grow that to 500 in roughly 6 years, bringing in $40,000 per year in passive income. If you keep going with the same consistency, you'll reach 1 million 7 years later. And at that point, your money will be generating $80,000 a year in passive income, enough to replace your entire salary. And here's the point. The first 100,000 is the hardest, but after that, your money starts pulling its own weight. You don't need to work harder. You just need to keep doing what you're doing, actively shaping your career to position yourself for the next role. Always focusing on making more money, maybe with a side job at first, and then shifting to a business. Keeping your lifestyle fixed as much as possible and continuing to automatically invest. So hitting this milestone isn't just numbers. It changes how money works for you and how you feel about your financial future. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and subscribe to the channel. If you have a question or want to suggest a topic, please leave a comment below. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.